We open up today in the dark, dank cells somewhere underneath Evervale. Chains clink as they swing from the rafters above. I think we see a foot sort of booted and peeks from off screen as it kicks the chain above, sort of in this state of wonder and boredom. The camera follows the foot down to a cloaked person wrapped like a pile of discarded laundry on a thatched bed made for Djett. Djett, you are sort of kicking the chains that hang low here. The chains are attached to a shackle that is then fastened to the wall. The shackles for arms or for the wrists are unused here as they are hung against a hook on the wall. A stench of old food blows through the corridor and through your cell. As not many things can or have escaped from this cell before, but your hope is swiftly competing against that theory. It's been a while. It's hard to say. Time moves slow. It also sometimes moves fast down here. It's hard to tell how consistent your measurement of time can be and has been. What's going through your mind in this moment?
When are they coming back?
Who are they in this context?
The interrogator? The guards? I don't know how long I've been here, but it feels like I've been here almost as long as I've been outside.
There have been several visits from guards. They come to change the bucket you use as a latrine, usually in threes, 2 to watch over and 1 to do the job. Every once in a while, a cloaked figure comes through the area. And you hear footsteps. They seem to be soft, not heavy clunks of booted, heavy armored sworn, but the soft footsteps of someone with grace as an unbooted barefoot peeks from underneath the robe. You sort of follow the robe up. You notice the robe is, the hood is donned over them, and you notice that they have a glimmering, shining facial tattoos, concentric circles that sort of wrap and warp around their face and down their arms. Their shoulders and sleeves are also missing, but the tattoos across their arms are not. The person you are looking at seems to be masculine underneath their robes, also very fit. As you start to piece together recognition that you are staring at someone who has take in the monastic tradition of the grasp. As this person walks through usually once a day, I think you have seen them make this pass several times. It's almost as if it is more about a warning than it is about them needing to do anything. They come through, they look, sort of inspect. Without a word or an expression, you notice their eyes start to move around, of course, through this glowing light that usually licks through their eyes, much like a escaping smoke from a candle being snuffed out. The glowing lights of their eyes under their robes start to just look and peer at you, peer at the cell, as if something is disturbing them. And then they continue their soft-footed pad down the hall, away from you. What does it feel like when this figure makes their approach? And what does it feel like? They do it daily. It's almost though that you forget that it happens until they show up again, and a bit of surprise maybe, but also a bit of recognition that, oh yeah, I'm still here. But what is it that you are feeling or have felt when you noticed this person for the first time? That
Recently.
a grasp, a way of the grasp, has been watching over you, personally, it seems.
A grim anticipation. They are called the way of the grasp. I figure it's only a matter of time until they try and grasp me. I think in my mind, a number of things that they could possibly be capable of run through. We have fought one of their number before. They are incalculably powerful.
It can be, if trained correctly. The one that you have faced seemed to have a pretty unfortunate demise, considering their training was cut short. It seemed a bit obvious in retrospect. Go ahead.
But only hubris was his demise. Had he not floated the way he did, we might have been on the other end of things.
Correct. The figure then turns, walks away. I think their silent statement rings an echo through this chamber again, as it's meant to. You are left alone. Is there anything that Djett would feel to try to do while they are in this position? I think I know the answer, but I want to hear it from you.
You put me in an awkward spot, having to read you reading my mind. Damn. However...
Me, the DM of awkward spots.
Indeed. However... during this time, I suppose I'm just trying to keep my mind off things. In the most quiet, I suppose I am just trying to imagine a place that is not here with my friends.
Make me an Arcana check.
And Arcana check. Rolling. 17.
Interesting. As you sort of breathe a sigh of relief, or maybe even a sigh of forlorn, as you remember your friends, and you just try to keep your mind off of things. You know that comfort sigh, not necessarily because you're sad about anything. Obviously, you're sad about stuff, but it's not like a sigh of relief. It's a sigh of release. It seems like, where it's meant to. The sigh of relief seems to be a comfort. Okay, everything is done. I'm comfortable now. But I feel like the sigh here is a sigh of your body trying to find comfort. Your subconscious looking for a reason that this could be a sigh of relief, if that makes sense. But nevertheless, you still sigh. And when you do, a deep breath kicks up some of the quantum wind that is the Spellwind, as it sort of lets you know that it is present. A reminder that it is always everywhere. Only those who are able to see it and able to utilize it can, and see it can. As you visualize this wind for a moment, reminding you of its presence, you hear the vent that is nearby. The vent that is looks like, to anybody in the room, it looks like a window. But if you were to go toward it, you would notice that there is no outside beyond it, besides a cavernous chamber that sort of reaches up towards the sky, or reaches up above towards a sliver of light. Not meant for looking, not meant for gazing, not meant to be a vista, but just meant for aeration. A vent here for the stench and the smell that could collect in one of these rooms, and could potentially be hazardous for those who are even visiting, or for some of the inmates here. But you hear a sound from that vent. Sounds like sounds like a dancing of glass. You know this sound very well, as like a rhythm of something falling through this chamber, this this void of spire, this cavern. Ding, 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 ding. As it sort of, you hear a clunk. As my face is cringing at the sound that this is not what it's supposed to be, but it sounds like the bottle hits some of the bars as it sort of settles, still just outside of the cell. You see on this ledge a bottle. Now, I'm going to send you something, because we did speak about this, but a little bit of detail that I wanted to clarify here.
Okay.
Okay. So, as you sort of look and sigh at what is ding 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 ding, this bottle that lands on the sill here. Iron bars spaced apart where you would not be able to fit through, but the bottle maybe. There is another sigh, I think, and this is a sigh of defeat. As you look and see a bottle just on the other side of the bars. It is so close. It
I
seems so far.
instinctually reach out to grab the bottle, then I
As you do,
drop my arm.
you reach out to grab the bottle. Your sleeve falls for a moment. As you do, you realize the hubris in your movements here, as a sharp pain comes from where your hand would be, as your sleeve rolls back, and you are reminded of the pain and the defeat and what it is to be punished by the Sworn. You mentioned episodes prior that the Sworn punishments fit their crime, and they found that here as well, as your sleeves fall back, revealing that one of your hands is missing. You go to reach with the other one instinctually as well, and the sleeve rolls back as well, and you're missing both of your hands. The bottle still sits on the sill. A sharp pain reminds you of this. A scar looks like it's been healed rapidly, not necessarily safely, but usually you know that to be from your medicine and your training, that magical healing doesn't always not scar. It is a quick way of stopping bleeding, and it's a quick way of getting people back on their feet. Scars still can exist with improper healing, and yours looks like someone stitched and healed and left it. A large line. Yep, looks like a like the stitched in rivulets sort of go down your around your wrist or around where your arm or your hand would be, dimpling reminder of what has happened. But a bottle still stands there. I think at this point, the quiet, dull cell here is so quiet that the sharp pang of these of the bottle dancing down this cavern is enough to worry you, as it's like being out on a starry night with no one around and breaking a twig, and that twig being the loudest thing in comparison to everything else. Breaking a stick or lighting a fire or anything like that is loud in comparison when there are no bats or there are no carts or people nearby. That is the same as a spike of anxiety for a myriad of reasons starts to then flow through you. Your face starts to get warm as you start to think about how to what?
I don't know how to get the bottle, I suppose.
Okay. That being said, you do hear footsteps. Loud boots. Seems to be Sworn are on their way.
I'm going to turn towards the wall and pretend I did not hear anything.
Okay. Sworn peeks around the corner. What's going on? You hear that? Hey.
Huh? Yes.
You hear that?
I hear what's
There was something that happened. It was like a bottle or something.
I don't follow.
Give me a deception.
Oh no. I am very deceptive. 22.
Wow. Yeah, so for a moment, he curses under his breath toward you, and probably at you as he brushes off and starts to then, what the hell, starts to look at around some of the other nearby cells and starts to then you hear doors open as he steps inside and starts to scan some things. There's still you sort of glance back over and there's still a bottle just behind one of the bars. The glinting light from above seems to dance as if some movement from above this window or this vent sill is happening above.
I, I wonder how it got there. Although I'm not able to. With the chain on my ankle, would I be able to get to the vent, to the grill?
You can make it to the window.
Okay.
The chains on your ankles are just sort of your 2 feet together. You can shuffle around, but you can't run really.
Okay.
It's sort of like running with your pants down. You could run for so long before you fall, and that's sort of.
Am I able to
we've all been
see?
there.
Of course, yes. Am I able to see the bottle?
Mm-hmm.
Is any part of it sticking out of the grate?
In your direction, or in which great direction? Because
in my direction, I cannot reach for it, but maybe I can grab it with my teeth.
Right. I think you'd be able to. So once again, it's sort of picture like a fireplace or a chimney. It's sort of going up, and whatever this sort of jaggedy vent is, just this a cracked fissure that someone probably just haphazardly chipped away. So bouncing down onto the sill was this bottle. So it's probably resting on the masoned part of this sill. You would be able to reach and get it if you had hands, or if you would like to another way, you could. It seems like however this bottle was delivered, they weren't thinking that far ahead, or that this was an issue, that this would be a problem, as it sort of sits there and it sort of waits for something as you do try to. Is that what you were going to try to do?
I was going to attempt to if there were no guards around.
Yeah. You hear for a moment, and I think you sort of wait for the guards to quiet down and to move on. I think one more time, good thing you did wait, this sworn guard comes by and... Nothing, right?
Huh? No. What do you mean?
Oh, I must be going crazy. The sworn starts to then walk away.
We should all be so lucky.
As now you're alone, and you feel it is comfortable to try. Without any sort of roll, takes you a bit. It's really awkward, but you are able to somehow nuzzle or move or grasp the bottle off of the sill with your mouth.
Okay. I think it clatters into my arms. I sit back down to the hay.
You sort of catch it in some of your robes to silence it, and you sort of fall back and sit. Sure.
And I go back to where I was resting, and I inspect it. What is it?
It is a bottle with some liquid in it. The liquid seems to be refracting on the surface, much like, I think, oil. Like if you see oil in a parking lot, you know how it has that weird refraction of a rainbowy stuff? That sort of happens on the surface here, and sort of also on the surface of the glass as you sort of swirl it around. It has a bit of a green, crystalline type hue to it, but that silky refraction off of the surfaces are maybe more of a warmer orange, as this just interesting. It looks a little putrid, but it doesn't look poisonous at all. It looks like this bottle is not meant to dip anything like most acid vials would. This looks like a drinking potion of some sort.
DM, I am an alchemist. Do
Yes,
I
you
not? Would I be able to fathom what this might be?
Yes. You can. I really don't need you to roll anything. Yeah. So as you, because you're Jet, you know that this is a potion of. Wait a second. Let me see how easy this is for you to recognize. I think you would. Yeah. This is. This is a potion of gaseous form.
Oh. But where? This is a trick. A trap. No. No. I, after all I've been through, I don't trust this. This is too convenient.
That's fair.
I'm going to, I suppose, hide it under the straw for now, at least.
You try your best to stuff it with what you have left of your hands and your arms. You part some of the thatch away and roll it in, and then position the straw or some of the clothing that you've been using as a pillow and cover it.
They're testing me.
And I think we leave you here for a moment as you try to make sense of this.
They're testing me.
Off toward the east, north of Dead Grove, maybe even across the waters from Crowmore, just outside of Evervale. You all are making your way inside or around the coastline of the Sound, where we first met you all. Just to your east and south a little, you can see a rubbled wheel. The crevice just underneath some rocks has spilled out into this area recently, as you're all sort of dusting your way off. As you crawled through or made your way through this tunnel, you are now in this Sound as you sort of look around Evervale, or at least the Sound of Evervale. Just towards your southeast is a broken, or you would imagine, a broken water wheel and the large crank that it would be useful here. A large difference between the Sound now and what you saw before is there are boats that are packed across the waters here, as if trade has been held up, as if merchants have been trying to make their way across through the Jade Sea, but the only land bridge with any passage has been blocked for months, which it has been. As you start to make your way out, it is dark enough. The moon looks like Geoloon has set. There is nothing but darkness and lit torches in the distance on some of these boats, but more so toward the busier docks of Evervale as you crawl out of this It seems like there is a boulder right in front of this crawl space that has led you here. It seems like Scars was correct. A small etching, or a small engraving on the rock in front of you as you sort of face through this area, Ty, has the Entente E on it, signifying that likely in safe hands.
Right then. This was the right place.
You want to have a look around, or you want me to do it? Get the lay of the land first.
I can do it.
Might be better to save some of the power in my armor. I'm going to have to disguise myself.
Yeah. I'll have a look about. I'm gonna skitter off and look for. First, just check that we're alone and that there isn't any obvious scouts or enemies, or some sort of watchtower or something like that.
Sure.
And then secondarily, I want to figure out where to go next, how to get in there.
Yeah. The feather, for those who are interested, the feather is where they are, just south or east, southeast, is where Walden is, and they could sort of see through the haze, or where they would see through the haze, and they've recognized this area as that is where Walden would be. So that is sort of where they are right now. So you are doing what again? I'm sorry, Ty. You're going to go take a look at. You can do a little scouting.
Yeah, pretty much. I want to know where to go.
Sure.
And if there's anything.
Sure.
Bad.
Yes. Well, the obvious thing is it's all bad. There can be anybody watching at any moment, but you are trying to figure out what the next path is. Go ahead and make me a survival, I guess. Yeah, probably a survival. 19. Okay. As as you sort of quickly look and take in the surroundings, and see that there is footpaths that sort of lead up toward the docks. As you sort of scout ahead, you also notice that the docks do reach down toward this way. A lot of them have boats now docked up to them, as if this would be the waiting area or the marina for this canal. It's pitch black. It's, like I said, people can't see much unless they could see in the dark, but to the human eye, they wouldn't be able to see much here, nor you, as you feel a little bit confident of this area. I think what sort of catches your eye is someone, whoever it may be, didn't do a great job covering their tracks here, passing by. Maybe they were in a hurry, or they didn't care. They felt a bit sloppy. As you can piece together that these footprints will duck underway just up ahead. There is a marina that is being used. There is a lantern that is lit, hung on the boat nearest you, indicating someone is either inside or nearby. If you can pass just beyond this boat, you could feel with about a 19 out of 20 confidence that you would be able to hide from everyone else at this marina under these docks. It is pitch black under those docks.
The boat is what, like a small thing or like a huge
The boat is like
fruit
about
carrying?
yeah, it's like a small trading fishing vessel. So it has two floors. The top floor has where the captain would be and a lot of the workers as well. But it doesn't look like there are many workers. There is a small bed, and someone looks like they are still awake and they are reading something as if they're on their back reading before bed. There is no other crew, and the bottom floor has a small bed for cargo, and then also a large closet that would feed underneath the larger, underneath the room above, probably for storage or to keep things cold and fresh, probably like a fishing vessel.
Okay. And this is just traders. This isn't necessarily like sworn.
There are, as you look around, there are no sworn in the vicinity. So
Yeah,
you
I
would,
head back
and as you
and
recognize these boats, or you try to identify these boats, there are none that you've recognized before, and they look like that they are probably just regional traders.
yeah. Yeah, I head back to the others and
Sure.
point in the direction of the docks. Right, we want to go down there. There's one boat in the way. We might have to sneak past. Beyond
Do you
that,
see an easy way to do that?
for me, yeah. For you two, I'm not sure.
Okay.
I mean, we could try and just act casual, keep a distance, or stick to the shadows. Depends who's on the boat. They got lanterns, so they probably can't see in the dark.
Now I'm assuming that Varsha and I both would understand where Djett would be if he wasn't in Stormford. Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And where is that in relation to where we are?
That would be. That would be under the. That would be under the tower. There is a tower in the middle of Evervale. Very large spire with a large tooth of geoloon, a large spike of cosmic energy, always sort of glinting and radiating the night sky here. You can see it from where you are. It's just in the center. There is, of course, looming in the back, the castle, but this tower, this spire, has been either sunken through time or during the sundering. It's hard to say when, but the bowels of the tower have been utilized for a makeshift prison for those who are ready to be shipped towards Stormford. That is probably where you would say that they are.
You see where that large tower is with the jewel up above, Ty?
Yeah.
Djett's underneath that.
Do we know any other ways in?
Oh, can I make a roll?
Yeah.
I assume I can as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that
This be
history or?
This will be history.
Advantage or normal?
This will be, if you both want to roll, you can. But
Do you want to roll with advantage? I feel like you would probably know more than I would.
there you go. Or you can do that. Yep.
It's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay. Another way in to the tower.
It's a 15.
It is a 15. It is pretty well guarded, especially if there are people that, if it's being occupied, it's going to be heavily guarded.
When isn't it occupied?
When there isn't
Doesn't-
somebody in that they, it's going to be round the clock guarded. But as for ways into Evervale, you could take the docks, or potentially the way that Ty is thinking. You could also sneak in. You have an idea?
Well, I think we mean more is the only way to get down to where Djett is to walk in through the front door and then go in through,
Right.
the main building, or is there like another entrance that's a bit more discreet?
What do we roll? We roll 15.
Do the cells, are they built into the cliffside?
Yeah.
The cells are not built into the cliffside. They, however,
Holy shit.
Uh-oh, I think I came up with an idea.
I also came up with an idea. What's your idea? Does it have to do with moving Earth?
No.
Okay.
I like both of these ideas and where they're going.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Okay.
All right. What's your idea?
I gotta check on something first.
Move Earth is only five feet, so I would need somebody else that could do it with me, so we can move 10 feet at a time. And one person, Ty, could literally just move forward and not die slowly and tunnel his way through. Fucking horrific. Let's hope you're not claustrophobic.
Can't do that. No. Can't do it. That's a bummer. That is a bummer.
As far as the spire goes, you were never trained in another way to go in, indicating there probably isn't. Usually a procession of the prisoner will then be made from the spire down the streets onto the ship to then be loaded over to Stormford through the sound. Whether or not the sound is backed up right now, it is hard to tell, but that would be the reason. Likely, logically, that could be the reason why Djett could still be here. Because the sound is completely blocked up by merchants and traders, because the canal from episode 2 has been clogging up trade.
Well, I don't really know of any other way to get in. We'll have to come up with some kind of plan to get in. There's the obvious way. The hard way, which will probably get us and Djett killed. There's the quiet way, where we try and do things as stealthily as possible. There's the way where we make a distraction. Try and sneak in. Or there are people that remember what I said when we left the Sworn. People that might be thinking about all the things that we've done. The propaganda.
tie
If
making?
we try to use magic or anything like that, I'm worried what might happen. Probably have wards.
Do you think it's all magic, including void magic?
I don't know.
Right.
There's another way in. Maybe. Ty, you know of a location inside Evervale? Getting there may be hard. A network with the center of this web potentially being a tavern that has been cut off from use. You remember it being relatively close in the, I believe it is the Nobles Circlet. Is the neighborhood. We'll double check. The Royal Circlet.
And this tavern is what? It's got a contact or an actual physical network of like underground tunnels and shit. When you say network.
Mm-hmm. Let's go with the second one. You know it to be known as the Worlder Tavern.
Am I aware of the tunnels potentially going under this tower?
Give me a history.
11.
Not that you recall. But if you want in, that'd be the best way in. As far as getting to the tower.
Right.
That one's a little bit different.
This is into where, sorry?
Into Evervale. Into the Royal Circlet. Into a district or a borough known as the Royal Circlet, which is where a lot of nobles would live and lords of...
Right. The Worlder Tavern isn't in the Royal Circlet. I have to go to the... We'd go to the Worlder Tavern and that would take us to...
The Worlder Tavern is just outside of the Royal Circlet. It is one of those like pop-up taverns that shouldn't be in a place... Actually, no, I'm sorry. You're right. It is. It's in the hooks because it is left there as a sign. It is in the hooks.
Yeah.
Which is the docks, which is nearby. Sorry, I'm just piecing it all together in my brain as we're playing. It's surprising to me too.
So these two are coming up with a magical option.
Potential, yeah.
But they've not
you
come
are
to a conclusion.
in the
I
hooks.
mention this yet.
Essentially, this is a reaching and a barbed landmass of docks that sort of come out, and it's full right now of traders, and also it looks like it's packed. Like during the day, it looks like this place would probably be swarming with people, which is a good and a bad thing. As for now, it's on the busier side. It's sort of like if you were to go and spend an evening in a really large city, and you didn't want to meet up with there are people you didn't want to see, there's a good chance you probably won't see them. But there are tons of people nearby that are in and out. There is drinking happening just up ahead in some of these taverns, but the one that you know well is the Worlder Tavern, which has been left as a statement just on the border of the Hooks and Evervale proper.
While they're talking, I'm pacing up and down a little bit, I think.
Sure.
While they're planning.
Yeah, I don't know if it's worth the risk. I mean, I could try it, but then it would give away our position.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never seen... Really, I've never seen the magical protections in there or anything along those lines. I don't know what to expect. I don't know if I walk in with the disguise, if my disguise will break down.
Do it old school then.
Yeah.
Proper disguises. Sneak in. Fight our way through if we need to.
Yeah.
There's also going to be the issue of just walking around town.
Well,
Or are we going to get disguises?
no, disguises is easy. You pilfer them off of a washing line or nick them off the back of one of these boats or a cart.
I mean, my armor can fold up in about... It can unfold itself in about 6 seconds or so. But, Varsha and I have been around this place quite a bit.
Yeah, me too.
Bound to be a lot of people that recognize us.
Well, I can probably get us as close as the Royal Circlet.
That's a good start.
Yeah.
We'd only have to make a quick dash from there.
How do you propose doing that?
There's a tavern just over there. That's where I was born. The world belonged to me.
I know it.
Belonged to me old man. And me mother.
What?
Yeah. That's how we got into this mess. Well, maybe not Lorcan. Not me dad neither, I don't think, no. They burned it down, didn't they? Your lot. Because they were after Lorcan. He came in. Visit his brother. Sworn came after him. Burned the place down. Arrested me dad. Lorcan's convinced he's dead now. Anyway, that's where Lorcan found me. Swaddled up. Of course they said it was the wizard what did it, didn't they? The fucking Spellkin. But they did it. Anyway. That don't matter. Underneath it. Bunch of tunnels. Go down through the old cellars. We've used them a few times.
Great, what are we waiting for?
Well, I was waiting to see if you came up with a better idea than that.
Your idea is safer. And Smith and I can sit here and think of many different magical ways to try to do it, but that takes time and it's risky, and I'm so worried about Djett that I think I'm going to make a mistake if I try to plan something strange. So, tried and true.
Yeah. Right. A bit late, but I'll meet you there. I can
See
go
if we can get some disguises first.
I'll do that. I'll go and pinch him. I'm less likely to be seen. I know where
Yeah.
to go.
Alright.
You, when you get there, the alleyway on the side of the sign, go down that, bunch of rubble and shit at the back, climb up it. There's a window. It looks like it's barred up, but it ain't really. You can move the bars up. You can creep in on the top floor, but watch your step. It's still a shithole in there.
I might be able to rig something up if we need to climb.
So what is the plan? You are heading off to... You're splitting up here?
I'm gonna go and steal some disguises off the
Got
back
it.
of carts and boats and shit around
Cool.
here,
And you're all going to meet up.
and we're gonna meet at the welder. Yeah.
I thought you were like, I'm going to go over to the tower, see ya. And I was like, hold on. All right, so yeah.
No.
As
I'm
you...
the thief.
Yeah. You're going to go thief.
I'm
As
gonna
you...
do the thing that I should be doing.
that you made the character for. As you sneak off into the evening and sneak off into the darkness just up ahead, utilizing some of those docks and the shadow from the docks to cover your footsteps. We're going to switch back over to Djett. Djett.
Yes?
It's been about an hour or so since you uncomfortably stashed this bottle. You think it's been an hour. It's hard to say.
It's been, it feels like.
1 week. As you slowly toss and turn, pain juts up your wrist. An awful reminder. You also hear another sound, a clatter from above, dances down the vented shaft. Ding, 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 ding. You look. Looks like it's a stone.
Now it's dawn. I wait for a moment to see if any guards come to the noise.
No guards. This is not as loud as the bottle. This is probably a small pebble. But it was still enough for you to notice, since you are sharing the same space as the sound. But down the hall and stuff, it probably bounced off and drowned in the space. But at least you see this pebble, and then ding, 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 another one.
I wait for another.
Some
For a
time
minute.
passes. Another one. Ding, ding, ding.
At this point, I think there's so many things running through my mind right now. I don't know what that is. I'm scared to be tested by these people again. I should call out for the guards. I should. Shouldn't I?
Make me an insight.
Okay. And 18.
No. You shouldn't. At least that's what you feel.
I understand.
I think as you sat and waited for that third one to drop, I think that was maybe your excuse to try to make sense of it all. If another one drops and this person's trying to get my attention, another one drops and this is intended. And then another stone ding, 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 dropped, as if they're trying to get your attention, whatever it may be. In the time you've been here, this has never happened.
No. It is more than passing strange. But I don't know, how would I even respond? The bottle they gave me, was there anything in it, on its inscribed paper? A note, a letter? Or am I to trust this potion?
Make me an investigation as you inspect the bottle.
A 22.
You uncork the bottle, and on the bottom of the cork, there is a folded... Hold on, I have to rephrase how this is. There is a... in the cork, I think, is rolled up around the seal of the cork, and also the lip of the bottle, and also the cork, I think, is sort of holding this rolled up piece of scroll. As you undo the cork, you see that it's sort of, as you're able to, maybe with your mouth, take it out of the neck, you see that it sort of unrolls itself. And as it does, it says, "Drink this and follow me."
Oh, it's me.
But it's written in horrible handwriting. Blocky,
That makes...
square type, a lot of angles on the face. But as you read it, you do recognize that that's what it would say if it was meant to be common, which it looks like it does.
Okay. I hate to be obtuse.
Mm-hmm.
So it is not an Entente thing, then? There is no insignia, no inscription, nothing.
No insignia.
And I have to just trust whoever this is inside?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I waited. I think I'm going to drink the potion. Do I die?
You die. As you uncork the potion's already corked, you then probably think this, "I'm sorry I waited," and then you just you try and you fumble for a moment, but you're able to latch your mouth around the neck of this bottle and then throw it back as it just empties into your throat. You are able to, for a moment, start to burp, and then a large burp, and as you do, it sort of your body turns into a mist, a coalescence of vapor and sulfur, like that smell of sulfur as you... And you are now in a gaseous form.
I've always wondered how this one worked.
Bottle breaks as it lands onto the ground. You can move very slowly, but you can pass through things as if you were a cloud of vapor.
I try and filter through the vent.
Sure. As you start to, like hexes, peel apart the cloud that you are that makes you the cloud chasing your movements as you catch up with yourself, undulating up through this chamber and through this this geo vent as you make your way toward the top here. Outside of this, outside of in the open, it is daytime. The geolune is probably just past its zenith. You start to see that there is several people out front, guards, also a market that has just sort of been thrown together, almost like a farmer's market of any sort of metropolis, where there is a swath of people trying to sell their wares. There are tons of sworn through the area as as people are playing music and checking in with the guards. The guards, it almost seems like every block there's 2 or 3 of them, and not beyond 50 feet of one another. As they are constantly checking in with one another, you sort of sail through this, or peel through this vent here. As you pass through, and this figure that was standing by this vent starts to then turn and walk. As it started, you see that the face starts to make face contact with you, as you realize, as you are sort of going through this area, that the figure that is leading you through seems to be masked with metal. Their hood is up, and they are stout as they start to waddle like a dwarf through the crowd, and they every once in a while turn in your direction and hope you are following. And they then disappear, and they reappear in the distance as you start to chase this this figure, as it makes their way through this crowd. The crowd peels apart at one moment, a couple blocks away from your exit. There is a large crowd of people nearby, and it looks like there's an event happening. There is a large marble block in the middle of what looks like to be a courtyard. It is stained like rust would have stained an old joint of a windmill, how like the braces would weep like a rust stain across. That is the same here, but in the indent of this worn this marble block. And as you fly through in this form, you stop and you turn and you look, and you see that it looks like that there is someone speaking of what's the word? Speaking of betrayal, and I'm blanking on the word. Treachery, as a well-decorated sworn is brought forward. It looks like they are in their small clothes. Their helmet is rested right next to them as they are thrown onto the block with other sworn nearby. This large plumed, like a peacock of a helmet is rested next to them. It's turned toward them as their shoulders and their chest is pressed up against the this rock with the indentation and the weeping rust, as you start to put together that this is an execution block, as this well-decorated sworn member is being put to some sort of execution. They throw down this person. Their dark hair is sort of tattered. It looks like it is unkept now. It was once tied, as someone nearby screams of treachery, heresy, and lack of faith in the God King. As you turn and look to see where this figure is walking, they are not in the area. You take a moment to search and find them. You do, but with one glance back through the area, you see in the distance the headless body, and weeping off of this stone block is the blood of whoever this officer, this high-ranking soldier may be. You follow this figure down an alleyway. You see bars on the window, and this dwarven-looking, statured person with their iron masks sort of looks towards you, and they lift up these bars, and they hop out onto some sort of second floor. They punch through the barred window here as they sort of slide it down, and you chase them through. In this darkness, the light from Gialoon piercing through some of the windows and the boarded windows here, and you see charred floors as far as the eye can see, piles of rubble and charcoal, probably meant where tables were once. And the dwarf takes down their hood, have an iron mask still, and then they nod at you. And that is where we're going to take our break. We'll be back, everyone, in just a moment.
Search your feelings. Your ideals live within you. Let them burn as bright as a star in the vastness of space. Long after I am gone, I hope my ideals will burn just as brightly as a guiding star for you, my Padawan, and that they guide you to greater ideals, that you might in turn leave behind your own ideals to guide the next generation. I sense our darkest night is still yet ahead of us. Before we see the end of this war, let those ideals guide you, be a beacon through these dark times. For after every long, dark night, there will always be a bright new dawn. There is balance in all things. Always. And of course, if in doubt, trust the Force.
He mused aloud, and although his apprentice was indeed in the room, it seemed almost as if the mage was speaking to himself. The fireplace crackled and snapped, full of fresh logs the boy had practiced on earlier that very day. The mage was sitting at his desk, hunched over some parchment and books, carefully scribing something with ink and quill.
It was originally known as the etherphone, and it's an instrument controlled without physical touch. 2 rods sense the position of your hands and control the oscillators for the frequency. Sound is created by finding the perfect relation from your hands to the rods. Now, when you learn to play the theremin, they teach you specific hand gestures and finger positions for each note. You technically don't need these gestures, but it makes it easier to be precise each time. This is the same for somatic and verbal components. or any other tools we use, like your staff there.
At this, he lifted his quill slightly, turning to the side to peer at the boy over the rim of his glasses.
Do you understand? Good.
Ty, you sneak off ahead. To grab disguises? Is that what's happening?
I'm going, thieving.
Going thieving. Okay. Go ahead and make me a... Where do you go first?
I assume that this is a relatively populated area. What time
It
is
is,
it?
yeah.
I know it's dark, but
It's dark.
Is there still a market or anything like that, or
Yeah, I think
am I
people are
breaking
closing
into a
down.
warehouse?
I think things are closing down. People are getting ready for bed. Not many people stay up
Perfect.
late here because, why would you back then? Back then in history, like this is a historical game. But anyway, you wouldn't. There are markets that are breaking their days down. Right, they're getting ready for bed. The person that was on that fishing boat was reading before bed, so I think it's like around that time where people are going to sleep, but it is not pitch black 3 a.m. dark.
This is my favorite time to steal from a market because it is the point where
Where
they
no one's
are
watching.
loading up
Yeah.
their wagons and carts and breaking down their stalls.
And they're
And
more worried
in
about
that
breaking down their
time-
stalls and getting out of there than watching the product.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
And that is what I'm
Sure.
looking for, is a clothing stall. One that sells cloaks, robes, scarves, stuff like
Clothes. Sure.
that. Clothes.
Yep.
And scarves.
So that is easily found as it takes longer than you wanted it to. You thought it would be an in and out sort of thing, but you start to weave through some markets. You look around and you start seeing some familiar wares. I wouldn't say familiar faces, but as you sort of look through, you're reminded of the markets of Evervale and what they could be like. And you are also greeted with the information that there are people who are loading up. So you start to make your way back toward the outskirts of the market, not right going through the main drag of where people would be, but sort of where they'd be loading up. And that's when you do see a clothing rack full of scarves and a tree full of scarves, I think, that looks like someone loads in this tree that's like nailed to some sort of large piece of wood that is like sort of the base, and they just hang their scarves on it. Right now they're taking the scarves off, and there is a branch nearby that seems to have some sort of two legs of two probably hewn pieces of wood holding a gnarled branch. On that gnarled branch, there are other facets of clothes, but this person is trying to undo all of and throwing over their shoulder all of these scarves and dropping them on a table, and then just doing this monotonous task of trying to undress this tree as you are approaching.
Yeah, I'm just walking around casual as you like, and then at the moment that she turns her back and ideally gets distracted in some way, I will
Sure.
just grab a handful of
You'll-
stuff.
You'll swipe some things. Cool. Go ahead and give me a Ties a Thief check.
I is a thief check.
Okay.
14.
14. Is that a +9? Wow.
It's a +9.
Wow. All right. So, yeah, you are able to. I think you do grab some. She turns and she looks for a moment as she places some more scarves down, but realizes that she may be missing more than she just placed, and she takes a moment to sort of look at the tree and then look back at this, and then sort of in this bewilderment. And I think that's when you disappear as you make your way back to your friends. Well, it wasn't flawless, but it got the job done.
I don't think anything I do is flawless when I have to go to the Walder.
Fair. That is fair. As you approach your friends, both Varsha and Smith, what are you doing at this moment as Ty is off doing their thing? You're making your way over to the Worlder, correct?
Can I throw them their cloaks?
Yes. Yeah, as you, I think you meet back up. It was probably on the way. How about that? You have to go
They're
through
in
that
the
marker.
alleyway.
Yeah.
Oh, so okay, so we're all together heading
Sure.
to
Yeah,
the.
let's do that. Yeah,
to
you
the
meet in the
pub?
alleyway, as that alleyway right before that barred window. That's where you are. Sorry. Yeah, as you, and you go ahead and you pass them their cloaks and scarves,
Mm-hmm.
cloaks and robes, the clobes.
I would also have a very different face.
Mm-hmm.
Rather pointed nose and rather angular features. And I'd be walking a bit more upright.
Okay. So you see Varsha, and you see this other guy. You assume.
Varsha and Iridir, I think, is who I see, apparently. Sounds like him.
My heart.
I assume that the person standing next to Varsha is
think you
Smith, so
Smith
throw
would probably
him
have
his-
given you a sign or a wink or whatever Smith does to let you know.
Yeah. I've seen him do this enough times. Throw.
You know,
Throw.
the normal thing.
Right, we heading in?
Yeah.
Yes, I believe this will work.
Yeah, climb up that. You two can go first.
Okay, I'll go first. I climb up.
Was your passive perception, Ty?
21.
Perfect. Thought so. You hear a from inside, like a chair is moving.
Hold up.
I freeze.
Wait. Let me go first. And I, as quietly as possible, push past them. There's probably
No.
some rubble.
Sorry.
And then I angle the wooden paneling or whatever's in the way and move my way in through the broken window that was boarded over. And I'm gonna go in as quietly as I can.
Okay. Give me a stealth.
17.
Okay.
I give them like a symbol as well as I sneak in. I'm expecting this to be either other Entente members or just like kids messing around.
Yeah,
I'm not
right.
actually expecting this to be anything.
This is a test that all my best friends have to go through. Yeah, we gotta spend a night in the world.
Yeah. One
Yeah.
of those weird things. Yeah.
I'm not expecting it to be like sworn, so I'm not really like approaching with like knives out here or anything. But I do want to just check.
Okay. As you make your way in, it's eerily quiet. And Djett, I need you to make a stealth? Yeah, make me a stealth check.
18.
I think You hear breathing. Ty. Staggered breathing. It sounds like someone's hiding. But their adrenaline is keeping them from controlling their breath. Much like probably a child who would be sneaking around inside the worlder, and knowing that they're about to get caught or trying to hide, right? They're untrained, but you can definitely hear the staggered. They're trying to stay hidden behind a half-burned doorway here. There's char going up it, and it seems to be split as if the whatever was holding the bond, the pitch maybe that was holding the wood planks together, have burned first, and it's starting to warp. As a split is the charred split of this door is sort of reaching in both ways. The door is closed, but that just beyond that is where you hear this staggered breathing.
Right. Pretty hard to stay quiet in here because the whole place is falling apart, but I'm still going to try and sneak up to that doorway. And then as I get to the door, I'll open the door really quickly.
Okay, as you go to open the door opens, and sort of cowering, their hood up, sleeves covering their wrists, is Djett. Djett. The door opens suddenly, and the sworn have found you. The door opens.
Djett.
I don't react.
Djett. I don't trust what I'm seeing. Oh, wait. Who are you? I pull out a knife.
I don't respond.
Come on. Who are you? Drop the spell.
If you are going to do what you are going to do, then please just do it.
I ain't gonna hurt you.
Now look at the knife.
Just in case.
I look down.
I ain't in the business of killing Spellkin.
Then why am I here?
To me, whatever spell you've got going on, you look like someone very close to me.
Is that right?
Smith and Varsha,
Pissing me off.
Make me a perception. With
You
disadvantage.
don't want to piss me off.
Thank you.
I am done with tests. I refuse.
Right. This ain't no test, okay? If you drop the spell, I can help you. I can take you somewhere safe.
I have heard that one before. Not again.
Trust me, it's safer than this place. No one will find you there.
Good sir. What spell? And I lift my hands. Or what remains of them.
I put the knife away. Look, I ain't gonna hurt you. Right?
And what do you want?
My name is Tyfair Veridis. Okay.
And my name is the God King.
I can help you. I've helped others before. We're in the business of getting you out of here. All right. Just explain to me why it is that you look like someone I know.
And who is this person you know?
Like I said, a very good friend of mine.
If you are who you claim to be, and tell me this. When you were 9, what did you call that swan god?
When I was 9.
Yes.
Who are you? My hand goes back down to the knife.
You would know.
I have on one of the rings, right?
Yes.
You tell me.
Tell you what?
The name of the god.
I do not know the name of the god.
You ever been to a place called 9 Years?
I have before, yes. But I believe that is not where this ratchet cunt was.
How is this possible, Djett? What are you doing here? What happened to you?
I don't know.
At this
I
moment,
was...
Ty, make me a perception. Please go ahead. Continue the scene.
A moment I was with you all. Then I was taken away. I don't know how long I've been away for. Most of it has been under questioning, under spells. But today somebody dropped a potion down the chutes, down the vents. And I took it, and now I'm here.
How did you know to come here?
I followed somebody.
Who?
I look around, and they're not here.
It's at this point you hear a chain dragging behind you, Ty. Sounds like it's dragging something heavy. As
Knife out, I spin back.
Of course.
I start moving backwards towards Djett.
Of course, as you start to move back towards Djett, you see that there is this cloaked dwarf, has an iron mask and a flail. Looks like the flail is sheets of stacked metal that have been bolted through. and it's sort of just dragging the flail as it sort of approaches.
Easy.
I don't know who or what they are.
Yeah, don't worry. It's us, Djett. We're all here. Who are you?
It pangs a stubby finger on the iron mask.
How do you know this place?
Starts to then hold its two fingers towards the eye holes of the mask. And then it starts a series of hand motions.
Anything I recognize?
Give me insight with advantage, because you know thieves can't, correct? Because of that lost class of yours?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So
23.
that's a 23. You start to interpret that he is signaling with one hand. It's hard to sort of pick up because usually you need two hands to sort of have any of this this sort of language to be a little bit better communicated. As the dwarf's stubby fingers start to spell out that he has, that this is a place of respite and history. How do you know of this place, is what he asks.
My hand with the knife, I pull the sleeve down to reveal the Entente tattoo.
It's sort of, the head falls back in recognition.
You stay there. 1 minute.
You're to me.
To the dwarf.
Yeah.
I turn back to Djett and kneel down next to him. Right.
The flail is still drug behind. It doesn't look like it's in any sort of it looks like as in a sweep attack would be maybe his next, as he's just still sort of holding that out, but he has a hand up ready to talk, it seems.
I got one eye on him, but
Yeah, you're doing this. You got the flipped eye
like,
filter going on.
Filter
perfect.
on.
Yeah, great.
But I lean down next to Djett. Listen, I don't know what the fuck they did to you, but we're here. We came to get you. Okay.
Oh,
What do you mean, how?
I don't know. I don't know. How is any of this possible?
I don't know. We'll get to the bottom of it, okay? We're good here. We're safe. I'm
Where
gonna go
the
and
hell
get Varsha
Okay.
and Smith.
Should I come or should I wait?
No, wait there. I'll bring him in. This is probably the safest place for now.
Okay.
You're good, all right? You're safe.
Okay.
All right. 30
You say so.
seconds. I'll be
30
back.
seconds.
And I
You'll be back.
start moving towards the dwarf, or what I assume to be the dwarf man, or short man, or child. And I say, right, you, I'm going to move past you to that window over there. 2 people are coming in. You don't do anything dodgy. We don't do anything dodgy. Understand? This man behind me, a very good friend of mine.
2
you
stubby
help him?
fingers are held together.
Did you bring him here?
They nod.
Right. Right there. And I dash over to the window. But I'm still kind of doing this quietly because really we don't want anyone on the street to
Right.
know that we're here. So everything I'm doing is in as much of a hushed
as far as we
tone.
know, the Worlder Tavern is a burned-down building that has been essentially roped off, so people could still pass right by it. There's still markets and streets nearby that are, but it is this monument of don't fuck with the God King, or we'll burn your house down. And that's sort of here, and this sort of is happening while while evening is happening. So there's probably there are no horses. There are probably one or two people passing by, but as that is the scene. Sorry, go ahead. As you pass by, I think the dwarf is holding a lot of the space for you to pass by, and they step toward where their flail is sitting. Without moving the flail to where they are, they instead let you pass by on their left side if their right hand is still holding the flail.
As long as they don't do anything crazy, I rush past them to the window.
Yeah.
And quickly lift up one of the boards. Varsha, Smith, quick.
What took you so long?
He's in
I
here.
start climbing in immediately. Who's in here?
Jett's
What?
here. I know.
How?
And then I
What are you
rush back
talking
to the room.
about?
I'm already moving backwards because I told Djett I wouldn't leave him for longer than 30 seconds.
25,
I follow him
26.
immediately, obviously.
I rush in and
27.
skid and slide next to him into a, kind of a hunched position, just straight past the dwarf again.
Yeah, this small, stocky figure, hooded with an iron mask, not unlike the one you saw Scars wear, sort of cowers away as Ty rushes by, and then sort of turns and looks at the two of you coming in as well. You also now get to see the same that same flail. Looks like a bolt is going through it. A shoddily made ramshackle of a weapon as these chains, handmade chains, obviously, go towards this bolt, and then a stack of square metal pieces are bolted through with this chain just sort of held there as this, for all intents and purposes, looks like this leather-clad rogue or someone from the Entente is in front, but they have this large flail and this iron mask and a hood that creeps up from underneath the armor. Finely
I
made.
move past them
armor, I should say, as
immediately
well.
and
Yeah.
just and get back to Djett.
Yeah.
Right, we're
same.
all here. Here, look,
I'm
Djett.
very much not. I'm
Violet.
keeping quite the eye on this
Of course.
thing. I'm staring it down.
I click my fingers for Violet.
Yeah,
She
Violet
probably crawls out from my. Yep.
starts to then crawl out from under the cowl. And then it starts to squeak, and then I think with its cute little clawed leather arm wing starts to claw at, I think, somewhere above its cork face, as if it was trying to rub something out of its eye. And then sort of you see and feel, Varsha, a spike of energy as the not like energy like I'm being electrocuted, like spike of happiness and positive energy
yeah.
from the body language of this, much like a pet seeing his owner for the first time after a long time away, as and then it starts to crawl down off of your arm. It tries to flap, and then probably due to its hibernation or not flying for very long, it tries to catch its balance and its wing or its flight path as it sort of falls for a moment. And Djett, you start to hear the familiar squeaks of the cork nose of Violet as Violet lands on your chest and like haphazardly lands on your face and your chest as it then tries to find purchase as Violet sort of lands and
I shoot Smith and Varsha a look and kind of shake my head briefly and then say, Smith dropped the spell. He's confused.
I'm
Enough.
still staring at this person with the flail. And who are they?
I don't know, but they brought him here. I don't think they can speak, but they know some hand symbols. Stuff that other members of the Entente told me a while ago. I don't know it that well, but I know enough.
I
The
must
head
use
under
verbal
the-
components.
The head under
Right.
the mask starts to nod.
I'm assuming that the mask that they're wearing is like a prison mask to prevent him from speaking.
Great assumption, but it is not. It is.
Okay.
What a great little
Or just assumed
treasure
it was like
for
a
me. Thank you, but
yeah,
no, that is
verbal
not.
mage or something.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is. It is. No, but now I have to write that down because that's sweet. But no, this is not one that you've seen or would recognize as sworn being used for that. This looks like it is ramshackled. It looks a lot like the same one that Scars was wearing when you met
Okay.
Scars.
So
the
this
episodes
is
ago.
potentially one of the like noble hunters. Because there are multiple, right? Yeah. Okay.
Part of the Faceless is what they called themselves.
Yeah.
Also, Iron Grin and Steel
Iron
Smile
Grin.
was
That's
also
the name
another
I
of
was
their
thinking of.
Yep.
That's what I know.
Mm-hmm. And
Looks like an iron grin. I just glance over, see the mask. I recognize the mask because I recognized it on the other guy too. And I say, looks like an iron grin. And I turn my focus immediately back to Djett.
the body sort of puffs up a bit, ready for some sort of response, as if something's going to happen. Watches Smith.
Djett.
Watches you, but then goes back to Smith. I think it also recognizes that Smith, it's like game recognizing game. They sort of understand that they don't trust each other. And that's sort of what's happening here as this happens.
Jay, you hurt. You fucked up.
No.
Okay. I glance down at the missing hands, but then just check that he doesn't look like he's actively like bleeding out or anything.
My arms are tucked inside my sleeves. At
So
the
we
moment.
can't see that you. Okay.
So only Ty would know, but otherwise you two
Yeah.
would not.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I could totally just see Djett 100% trying to hide this for as long.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's so sad. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Hey, we're here now. You're okay.
Smith. We gotta go. The circle.
The figure grunts and then holds up a stubby finger towards it's the mouth of where the mouth of this mask would be, and just sort of a reminder to try to keep it quiet. Sort of gestures towards the windows that are open and the people or the person maybe walking by with a torch. Doesn't look like it's sworn, but you do see, I think, a light scatter in for a moment across the floor as the dust from here has been disturbed from all of you moving around, and the ash that is here sort of it creates these god rays through the window of someone passing by with maybe a lantern, not necessarily someone looking for anything, but just someone using the road as intended. A late night traveler, as I would assume you all fall hush for a moment as the light sort of passes by.
Would not have left where I was sitting.
Of course, yeah.
He guessed my name, but how do I know that you are who you say you are, you two who came? How do I know that this is not still just some elaborate trick?
You took my scar away for about a couple of hours. Back when we first met. I immediately go in to hug him. But, yeah,
Russia?
yeah, I'm here. Are you okay?
Violet dances out of the way so you can come in to embrace.
I don't know.
It's okay. It's okay. You're okay now. We didn't for a second stop coming for you, okay?
I believe you.
We got her as fast as we could, Djett.
I put our foreheads together and I've just got my hand on the back of his head and I'm just like in a really close embrace with him.
I don't move.
Yeah. Okay.
I think at this point, you hear Smith. You watch this happen, but you all hear the clatter of a chain as the handle drops to the ground, and the armored mask of this dwarf drops the flail's handle, so it's just sort of in a pile in that doorway, and then backs away for a moment, and then interlocks their small finger just sort of gesture toward Djett in your direction, Smith, as if like, go ahead. I mean, we're not gonna, not like go ahead, but I mean like, I'm unarmed. If you want to approach, you may. He's trying to build trust, and if you want, you can incite that. But that's what his intention is with dropping, or at least that's what you see. He drops the that mace and then sort of backs away from it.
Yeah, I'll make an insight
Sure.
check then.
Mm-hmm. I like how Smith came in there for a second and then went back to his character, which is really dope. Okay, 15. That's up to you, whatever, up to your DM brain, what that means. But my intent as my NPC, he would like you to trust him at least for this moment. He's not trying to. He seems truthful, but how truthful Smith believes is up to you. With a 15.
Do not reach for that again.
A long pause. Mask nods.
Djett?
Yes?
Moment, the dwarf makes his way over towards a burned three-legged stool and tries to waddle up onto it, and then the three legs would make it tip, so it tips towards the bar, and what's left of the bar is where the third leg that's missing is leaning the whole and the dwarf up against the bar as the dwarf tries to find comfort.
This person helped you escape?
I think so. I do not know who they are, but yes.
That is very peculiar.
And the clatter of the dwarf sort of landing and off of this, or maybe pushes away from the bar, and the three legs sort of fall. So now the stool has sort of fallen horizontally, and he slides and catches himself, and with that grunt goes, and then through a doorway right next to the hearth, it goes and opens up, and there's a dark cellar that then starts to sign something. And Ty, you interpret is as there's a lot of words you didn't get, but what you received was too dangerous
He says it's too dangerous
to talk.
to talk.
If you want to talk down here is pretty much what he said, but broken. So like, this is a safer spot for you all to catch up, is what he's
I
implying.
look over at Djett and then stand up, walk towards Smith. Drop the fucking face, Smith. He's confused enough. Then I walk past him, and then I send a message to the dwarf if I can, the spell message.
Yeah.
You got a name?
Lean in Bryan.
How did you get him out?
I have my ways.
Why?
Have you heard of the Iron Grin?
Yeah, a little bit.
That's me.
You just bust people out for what reason?
Well,
Lifts up the mask. You can see there is no beard, there is no hair, there are no eyebrows. But instead there are scars that wrinkle across the face of this dwarf. The dwarf also opens up his mouth, and you see that there are lips that are missing, and a tongue that is missing as well. As he lifts it up for a moment, he then fastens it back and says,
they burned out my tongue with tongs from my father's forge. They wanted to silence me. They locked me in my smithy with my family, and they set it on fire. They burned what I have. They wanted to destroy me, but I did not know that fire cannot kill a dwarf. I emerged from the ashes a new man and a new weapon, and I swore an oath. I will help those who have suffered as I do.
Okay. If there was a staircase still here, and you could walk up it, into that room at the back, you'd find a little crib. It was mine.
Ooh.
Yeah. Same story. Seems we're on the same side. This man,
You're in town?
points to the wrist.
I am, so is he. The other two used to be sworn. They're with us now. We came to get him, but... I mean, we found you, so... What do you suggest? You know what they did to him?
Cut off his hands. Maimed him. Like me.
Still signing, I think, during this too. And his words seem to also match.
Name is Lane Ember Iron.
As he continues to
Actual
Awesome.
sign language.
sign all of this. Or should I say thieves can?
Okay. We'll try and move him into the tunnels.
It's not safe.
We've got a way. We can move ourselves. We know a spell. Teleportation circles. We've got a safe place, but I don't know how we get him there. I don't want to freak him out too much. After what he's been through.
Hey,
I'll do it carefully.
well,
And the message sort of stops, and then he just gestures towards the hole.
Yeah. Give us 5, yeah?
as long as you need.
Keep an eye on the street. I turn around and head back into the room.
Slides the mask back on, and then goes up the stairs. The stairs that you mentioned, as they creak. Then I think you both, Djett, Ty, would have probably noticed and realized that was a loud squeak. And then also he the same, as he then starts to crouch and then start to take his time as he goes up these stairs. And then makes his way up towards, and you hear old floors creaking above, but not step, 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 more like step, large leap, step, step, like he knows the area and he knows the weak points. As some of the floors bow and break, and even a plank of charred wood jostles a moment, as not much sound is made, but a lot of weight is being handled by these planks.
What did he say his name was?
Lane, Lein, Ember Iron. And for those who are playing the home trivia game, this is Ratch's character. So from 10 years ago, Ratch made this character, and he was like nervous about role playing, so he made this entire backstory why he wouldn't need to speak. And I was like, that's fucking
Oh
sick.
my god,
Yeah.
it's so good.
Yeah. So so now this character exists.
Of course, it's Ratch. Now that you say that, it's like it's got such a fucking vibe. It's got
right. It's
so good.
Yeah, Ratch is my twin brother who helped me come up with a lot of stuff around Evervale and played in the first couple of. But yeah, this is one of the characters that we never really got to see a lot of the story. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna bring him in. We'll see what happens. We'll see how people interact. Anyway, that's him. So yeah, Lane, Ember Iron.
I move into the room with the others in, and I get pretty close and hunker down. Right, he's I don't know what he is exactly. He said his name was Lane, Ember Iron. They did him in, same as they did all of us in. And I think this is what he does. He gets back at them, saves people when he can. We need to get out of here.
I'm
What do
going
we do
to
for the spell?
drop my disguise now, and going to put a hand on Djett's shoulder and lean down by his ear. And as I do so, I say to his ear, Djett, you are not broken.
Okay.
And even if you were, your friendship helped to fix me. I would do the same for you.
Okay.
Anything can be fixed.
You taught me that. Okay.
You are not broken.
He says, okay, that time I will pull our foreheads apart and kind of just like let go of him a little bit. I'm still right there with him, but sounds like he wants to try to get up.
Are we leaving?
Need to move into the tunnels underground.
It's not safe here.
Okay.
I'm gonna get you out of town. Take you back to the academy.
Okay, I can move.
Are you all right?
I can be fixed. You said so. So I'm okay.
Follow
I
me.
exchange a glance with Smith. I don't know if we have standard procedure for what we do to alchemists, or like if we would assume that his hands would be taken or what violence was done upon him, but we know something happened to him.
Yeah, you would remember that the punishment usually reflects the crime.
Yeah, that's
Alchemists and alchemy and what has
They take your
happened with
hands.
Djett's parents was a little different.
Okay.
They were publicly submerged
an acid.
in acid. So I think immediately you would, and it could be during that time you are pressing your head against his, looking for any
Acid. Yeah.
acid burns or skin damage or anything, and don't see much.
Yeah, I
Or
don't
I didn't say
actually
much, you don't see any.
think. I don't think I would look during that time.
Sure.
I would be entirely focused on Djett during that time.
Sure.
But now
But now
probably
maybe
glancing
recalling
at him,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm just checking him over.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There would be no acid damage visible.
Right. Stay right behind Ty. I'll be right behind you. And I look to Smith to go ahead and lead the way.
Let's go.
Okay.
Okay.
What is the plan? Tunnels out?
Yeah.
Head towards the tunnels.
Yes.
You make your way. I think for some reason, it could be the sounds, or if you're being super quiet, it could be the shuddering of the building, and potentially Lane heard it, but Lane makes his way down the stairs as well. You see a creak, or you hear a creak as that same stair once again creaks as he makes his way down, but that heavy footfall sort of make its way over toward you in the darkness as Lane's there. And Lane sort of looks over at you, Ty, and starts to sign. Go ahead and make me an insight.
18.
It seems like with his communication, he is trying to signal that he can lead you out with these tunnels. And also, I think, asks at the end of it, do you know the way?
I've used him a couple of times, but you lead the way.
A slow nod. And then, unsurprising dwarf behavior as a leg slides into the cellar door and sort of brushes and pushes whoever was first out of the way as this dwarf makes a grunting noise as it slides and catches its footing on the cellar stairs. As then it looks, they look up at you and give a seasoned gesture, as then they wait for all of you to follow behind. These tunnels, if led, I think you've taken these tunnels before, Ty, but these tunnels, usually, the ones that you have taken, bring you toward Galfish. Is that where you intend on going? And I said toward, so not necessarily right in Galfish. So like you can probably pop out somewhere and head to Dead Grove if you wanted to. That's completely up to you. You can.
I think on the
you have creative freedom of these tunnels and such.
After we start following him,
back.
Oh, thank you.
I nudge Smith and say, "Where do we need to go?" The circle.
I just need to make sure that we can get to the academy.
They know.
We'd have to go to Dead Grove.
Who?
What?
They know. They know.
Who knows what?
I'm sorry. They know. I don't remember how much they know, but they know. The academy, you,
Ty.
what we did.
I hug him again because I know what has happened.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It's okay.
I tried. I don't know how much they know.
You did great.
I hope so.
You did. I have no doubt in my mind. I just shoot a very angry, vengeful glance at both Smith and Ty.
Sorry.
Don't apologize. You did great. I'm
Yeah,
sorry
it's
we
fine.
didn't get here sooner.
We'll get you out. We'll plan something else. Doesn't matter what they know.
Okay.
We've always worked against them, and they've always known more than we did. Nothing changes.
Okay.
In fact, they might head towards the academy now. We might be able to use the information.
They still can't
It's
get in.
okay. It's okay.
I don't know how long it has been. Would we be able to get there before them? I don't know.
Yeah, we can, Smith can use the circle.
We just
Okay.
have to get to Dead Grove.
Yeah.
I look at the dwarf as soon as Smith says Dead Grove.
Dwarf holds up a hand. And then nods.
Quickest way there.
And then the dwarf pushes past you without saying anything, and I think just starts to bowl through the line, and then back towards the way you came, turns, and then just tells you you've got to backtrack a bit. But also you see tucked in their belt is the face render, this mace, or the flail with the sheets of metal bolted, as it sort of dangles up and around as it's tucked into their belt as they're sort of grunt and wave you this way. As you backtrack a bit toward the tunnels, toward whence you came, and then take a turn off of the path you've walked toward a new path, as you all begin to follow this stranger of the same make and mold as all of you, it seems. The tunnel then leads to a misted place, about half a day's trip of walking. Lead you to a hill just north of Dead Grove. The cliffside here or the hillside here is covered in that mist that we've seen time and time again when we make our way into Dead Grove. As it opens from the hillside. I think it's an old storm drain near an old forgotten road. The storm drain is missing its bars. It's pushed over onto the side. As out from this dugout of this hill emerges Lane. As Lane looks around, and then Lane stops you all, and then heads you back into the tunnels once again, as Lane is seeming to remember as that was not the place. as you start to find and feel your way through. Another couple hours go by, but you start to recognize this cavern and this crevice that you were a part of, that you used before to get into the Crypt of Grendane, and lead you to the opening, or at least the rocky footfalls and handholds with the Entente wax seal on each of the handholds that lead up up into where you once traversed. Up ahead or up top, you would notice that the same smells, the same moisture precipitation, and the same area is reminding you of that exact place you were an episode ago, back in the Crypt of Grendane. As Lane looks up and sort of slaps the cliffside here. And then looks over toward you. All right, that's not the right music. As I am out of focus, as Lane then gestures, this is it.
You want to come with us?
Kill the God King.
Eventually. Absolutely, yes. But I mean right now. We're going to a place. We've been trying to do pretty much what you've been doing. Spellkin. There's a hideaway. A place where I don't think they can find us. But if they have found us, might be able to use a man like you.
The mask tips up, and for those who haven't seen Lane's face before, you see, I think, just the bottom half as it tips up in this direction. You just see the bottom half of a lipless dwarf, and there is no tongue, or at least it looks like it struggles to move, as you also see these rivulets of scarring up the chin of the bottom half of the dwarf's face as it lifts up the mask for a moment and spits into their fingerless gloves, and then lowers the mask, and then turns and then starts to climb up the rock wall that he led you to.
I look at the other two, and then glance at Djett, and then back to them. How are we going to get him up there?
Can I cast a spell that I've been waiting to do forever?
It's probably gonna rub it in Jet's face, but yeah, sure, yeah, totally.
Okay, dimension door.
Whoa.
Okay.
Yeah, but we were gonna do it like because it happened after she went through the portal, and it was all voidy and weird. So I think I want it to be the same as that, where it's like we kind of just bend space, fold space and time, and go together.
So
but I can bring.
What does it look like as you
somebody
prepare
with
and do
us.
this? And could you spam it in the chat so I can just
give
give it a glance? Oh, there it is.
You teleport from your current location to any other spot within range.
200 feet straight downward or upward, sure, yeah, whatever. And you can bring along objects, sure, yeah. Also bring one willing creature, yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think, I just think I reach out and I rub the upper back area of Djett just gently, like I'm gonna take us up there. You ready?
Okay. How?
And then I will show him
Just,
actually,
okay,
because
cool.
I think my first urge is to just
do
do
it,
it, but
but
I know
yeah.
he likes magic and
Yeah.
he's very interested in it,
Yeah.
so I'm
Love
gonna
it.
show him. So I probably I'll bend my fingers like this, kind of like I'm folding a piece of paper for those listening.
Mhm.
And when I do that, you see the area around my fingers bending and moving, kind of like the spoon in the Matrix. Yep, exactly. I'll do that. And then I'll separate my fingers and then pull them together. And basically, I
Right.
bend the space. And then when I
The first
unfold
fold.
it, we're on the other side. Yeah.
Yeah. So the first fold is to you to like grab reality,
Mhm.
and the second one is the spell. So,
Yep.
and then that is
Yeah, I just wanted to show him basically what I was doing. And then,
and, yeah, and
yeah.
show that you have working fingers and hands. And as you go and time
I don't
and
know.
a void melts for a second, but then you are standing as you sort of are watching Varsha's hand for a moment. Djett, it opens and then closes, and then you sort of look around, and you are at the top of this precipice. There's a cliffside underneath, a river down below, or a small stream where your friends were standing. You could recognize that. There is a 5-foot gap to a hallway that continues into a more 5-foot broken gaps off of this crevice or this fissure. And then behind you is a large doorway that looks like it's been masoned and cut, and a sunlight of some sort is sort of spraying in through this room, and these climbing vines and vegetation are also filling that space as you are greeted with this like fresh air. Still smells a little weird, almost like, I don't know, a crypt, but that is what you see in front of you. As below you could start to then see a switchback of handholds that have been pocked with looks like letter seals, wax seals, that have the Entente symbol on them. As down below, I think also you see a reflective, burnished mask of iron as the dwarf that's been with you looks down and looks back and then continues to crawl toward you and climb, leaving both Smith and Ty at the bottom. Smith and Ty, you see from Varsha and Djett a fold, almost like a ripple, swallows or space, not space, but the space around them itself sort of folds in for a moment, and then you hear like this distortion of pressure, as then you sort of hear whatever response or whatever the rest of whatever the interaction is that happens here between Djett and Varsha, but way up on top of this ledge. Never seen it happen before, but Varsha knew she could do it.
How?
I think it had something to do with when we went through the portal. Something weird happened to me. I just felt like I could sense all directions as if they were tangible.
Okay. I see. Well, on the contrary, no, I do not. That's not science, Miss Vasha. But anyway,
Well, could it be?
maybe?
Just maybe a science we don't understand yet? Like if you move your hand in front of a flame, you know, you can burn yourself, but sometimes you can move it, right?
Varsha, make me an
Sometimes
Arcana check.
Sometimes it'll bend and move around you, right?
I see.
6.
Well, let's not hope it is quite the same as fire.
Why?
Well, you wouldn't want to be burned now, would you?
No, I guess not.
Regardless. You... all of you never cease to amaze me.
It's the same for you, Djett. feel the same way about you.
I'm not so sure if I have many of those days ahead of me.
You do. It just probably doesn't seem like it right now.
No, I should not do that to Mr. Smith. It can be fixed.
It can be fixed.
Smith, after you.
Djett, make me an Arcana as well.
9.
Thank you.
She
Nice.
says 6 upside down.
Uh-huh. Just like how planar travel intended.
Nice.
I'm climbing up.
I don't know which way's up. Okay, cool. All right. As you make your way up, you do not need to make a roll here, because if you fall, you'll just do it again. All right. Yeah. So you make your way up, and as you do, waiting at the top is Djett and Varsha, and now also an out-of-breath dwarven Elaine Emberiron. You could hear him breathing and panting under the iron mask. As sort of gestures and then tells you to follow.
Let's go.
As you, I think he also starts to read that you are more confident in this area as you all just sort of make your way up and through Grendane and into the fogs of Dead Grove and toward the
Spell circle.
spell circle. Yeah, I'm just trying to think if anything else happens on that. Okay, as you make your way toward the spell circle, go ahead and make me a... I don't know what roll this would be. Make me a survival as you try to find your way back to the spell circle.
Sorry, which check? What are we doing?
This is survival for Smith, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
13.
Yeah, you're able to guide people back the way that you needed to. You traced your steps back to that old tree where you met Scars, and then you find and retrace back to that the marble block that has the embossed, the engraved spell circle within it. I assume.
I am. Yeah, I'm gonna just kind of glance at everyone and say, "Be prepared, just in case."
The Lane looks around, sort of uncertain about what's about to happen. Never really noticing this before, this landmark. Take it away.
I'm going to begin to etch the runes for the circle to the academy.
A couple moments pass by as these runes are starting to be etched and filled as the circle starts to radiate to life. As you are then all taken out of Dead Grove. As you do,
Going to roll my Arcana check
I need you to roll your Arcana, and everybody involved as well.
with
I'm gonna
inspiration. I have my
Yeah,
still have inspiration.
That's
I'm
a
gonna
great
use
idea.
It. This feels like an important one.
Yep, and I'm just going to bring us back to this cam so we can take a look.
25.
Sure. Everyone who is a part of this, roll me an Arcana. I rolled a
You
4.
say a part of this.
Part of this as in
that we're helping,
traveling
or
within.
traveling.
14.
Mm-hmm.
9.
7.
Cool. Okay. As you disappear from Dead Grove. We will end the episode there, but not before we go back in time to we're back in Evervale. If I can bring us there. We are back in Evervale. The camera fades out for a moment. It fades back in on dark, cavernous corridor. Polished stone, etched or cut and masoned in cubes, are scattered or placed across the floor here, tiling it and draped with wine-stained purple rugs and tapestries. Hold on, I lost my place. The chamber is large. The camera catches the footsteps of an armored soldier, one that we would recognize, or Djett would recognize as the person from that block, from that executioner's block earlier on. They stand before a dark chamber, and they begin to speak.
My almighty king, my liege, my god, my lord, I stand before you today with a glimmer of hope, for I bring news of salvation. Our crusade, though faltering, may yet be salvaged. The prisoners have been freed, their shackles broken by the enemy. Our canals, the lifeblood of our cities, have been destroyed, and in the mountains our mines have caved in, leaving our worlds trapped and our resources depleted. But there is still hope, my king. I have learned the blacksmith possesses the information we need to rebuild Walden. With these canals, trade can continue, and our city will not suffer the strangulation of overconsumption. Without trade flow, our kingdom will suffer far too many consequences. And my concern for you, my lord, remains unchanged. I fear for your health. For the affliction that plagues you, I see the shadows under your eyes, the pallor of your skin. I see the way you move, slow and unsteady, as if the weight of the crown is too much to bear. I've heard the rumors, the whispers. They say you're not well, that you are changed, and I fear they may be catching on. I beg you, Lord, let me help you. Let me find a cure for this affliction, a way to break the curse. Let me find a way to turn the tide against losing this crusade. I will not rest until you are well again, until you are the man I have known and loved and served. I am your knight. I am your loyal sworn. I am Creighton of the Honor Guard. And I'll do whatever it takes to save you and our kingdom.
There is silence in this chamber. And an uncomfortable length of time continues as
My king? Your God King. Rolthane. Do you not hear me?
and almost as if on cue, the door behind opens, spilling light into this dark, cavernous chamber as sworn guards start to march in.
No. Rolthane, this isn't what I'm saying. Please. God King, you can't be doing this. This is not good for the... See, I am the best thing you have. If we are going to lose, we're going to lose if we're... Let go of me. That's an order.
As the honor guard captain, Lord Creighton, is dragged off out of the castle and toward a fate, a public fate of treason in front of the people of Evervale. The camera darkens and fades for a moment. But then opens back onto a pair of sticks bathing in moonlight, left at the seat of where Djett was sitting. A smash cut of the party moving through the cavern as we focus on the side of Ty, where he is missing his weapons of choice. I am never going to remember, thank you, I'm never going to remember that the ending credits also
Do it
mute.
again.
All right, sorry about that. I was saying, and that's the anyway. It's just the best way for me to mask the fact that I hate shoutouts. Anyway, thanks for being here, everybody. This was awesome. We're going to go around and chatter a bit and decompress about the episode. Let's start with Varsha, PB.
Hi, I'm Pumpkinberry. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at Pumpkinberry, playing through Metal Gear Solid right now. And I'm not crying because the game I'm playing is fucking badass as hell. And you should come and check it out. And I'm here on Tuesdays where I GM Kingmakers, which you should come and watch because it's gotten crazy. And that's it. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Go do it. Go watch it.
Yeah. And Star Wars. And that's it.
And
Those are
Star
the only
Wars.
things I want. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, PB. Thank you, Whack.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Steven. I played Smith for you today. Thank you so much.
Stop! So sorry to interrupt you, but that fucking slow voice change was one of the coolest things I've ever fucking seen. It was so good. You made it seem like it hurt you or like you were physically transitioning your vocal cords. It was awesome. Sorry to interrupt you.
Really awesome.
It was so fucking good.
I was trying to do it because Smith was in pain because he was switching back, and it hurts every time.
So good.
That came across.
It was so good.
that fucking detail.
Yeah. It was fucking wow. One of the coolest things I've seen in a while.
Thank you. I played Smith for you today. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. As always, make sure you are checking out Myth's Patreon, patreon.com/Spellwind, to go support this show. He's put a lot of work into it, and anything you can do to help support would be fantastic. Thank you so much for being here. As always, we appreciate you. Thank you. And if you want to see some more stuff that I do, tomorrow we've got Ashes of Eriador, which is the Lord of the Rings inspired show that we do here on Table Story. PB and Meyer are both in. And Perfect. It should be a very interesting day tomorrow. So I highly recommend that you check it out. And on Mondays we've got 100 Club. And that is a dark sci fantasy comedy type show that we are very much into the very serious story part. You should check that out on Monday. And yeah, that's all I got. Meyer, you go next.
Yeah.
Thank you, buddy. My name is...
Great work today. All right, Meyer, your turn.
My name is Meyer. I played Djett today. And what a day it's been.
What a day.
Or has it?
What day is it?
Wednesday, I think. But yeah, like I'll leave you guys to think about stuff that happened. But I mean, like, you know, Djett's been through a lot. You know, a lot of psychological trauma. You know, all that. You know, he's been like, how do you say, trapped inside some other world. You know, like hiding from green creatures and being plagued by, you know, whoever that lady is and her army of. Yes, of
what an
whack.
asshole.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, thank you for watching, everybody. You can find me at twitch.tv/Meyer. I do like video game news coverage, that kind of stuff. And also we play Star Citizen, or at least try to. Anyway, that's me. Thank you for watching. Brad!
Hello there. I'm Brad. I played Ty. This was both amazing and awful.
Thank you.
And I don't have a lot more to say about it than that. There were so many good moments in it. Like, if I was watching this as a TV show, I'd be like, this was fucking a great episode. But since I was in it and experiencing it, it was horrific, and I wanted to cry about 17 times, and that's okay. Yeah, man, there was a lot of stuff that dropped in this, so it was really cool. And I look forward to seeing what. Do I look forward to it? I don't know if I look forward to it, but I do look forward to it in a way, to seeing what we do once we get Djett back, and what the Sworn have actually figured out, and whether they know where we are and stuff. It's a lot. It's weird. I've been playing Kingdom Come Deliverance on my channel, which is a night-based game, but there's no magic or anything in it, so you just play a dude.
Sworn.
A Sworn, yeah, but
without magic.
Without magic, yeah, he's a good guy. And that's me. So that's it. I'm gonna go and cry now.
Okay, thank you for crying off screen. Thank you so much, Brad, and thank you everyone. Perfect.
It's
I said off screen. I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. This cast, you're all amazing. I was talking to Meyer earlier today, and also the cast being like, I don't know if I have anything for today. And then Meyer was like, you know, it's okay. I trust the process. And I was like, that's exactly a great phrase. Trusting the process. I trust the process too. Let's have a great show. So it's just really dope being able to play with all of you, and to, like, I know that I'm in good hands with each and every one of you when it comes to setting a scene, or even leaving the scene for a moment, being like, they got this. It's just really great. So thank you for all of today. Was great. It was great. Blah blah blah. All the stuff. And
Ratch's character is cool.
And Ratch's character, bringing Ratch's character is Lane and Bryan, and being able to sign as a dwarf is one, cool, but also being like this really barbaric type, like, you're a rogue with a flail. That's pretty dope and scary. Anyway. Really dope character, and you all have dope characters. This is a lot of fun. I can't wait to play more. Blah blah blah. I'm gonna keep talking. Switching gears to my actual shout out. I'm Mythomatic. You can follow me mythomatic.tv, and I am doing a Valheim playthrough right now. It's permadeath. And I'm also doing a troublemaker mod, so you can. There's an extension on my panel where you can spend bits and spawn stuff and try to kill me. So I'm in the middle of making a riverboat, and chat's been super kind so far. So you can make that not happen and ruin the whole run if you want. That's available for you. I'll maybe be doing that tomorrow, but I do need to do at some point a GM turn for this
How
game.
many HP does your Shield of Guilt have? Because my mom has like, I don't know,
My Shield of Guilt?
1,000. Yeah, is your it can't be more than 1,000.
It can't be, no. No, in reference to what? Into the whole thing with Djett's character last week, or in my Valheim?
Never mind.
All right, perfect.
Bye.
And I am inept with social cues. So I am doing that, and I've got to do a GM turn at some point about the pieces that move in the background of this world. So if you want to check that out, follow me on Twitch and Twitter, and I will let you know when I'm doing one of those, so you can come by, ask questions, and help me move some of the political pieces around this map, because things have changed, and story is progressing at a pretty rapid rate. Thanks, everybody. Be well. Take care of yourselves and all that goodness. Tomorrow, Ashes of Eriador. Be there or don't. Please be there. Am I right? Is it tomorrow? It's right. It's tomorrow.
Yep.
I don't fucking know. Anyway, I'm embarrassed. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
And now the audio is out. Wait, no, now it